Previously, Delu had fought off the beast, but Z fainted. Inside his mind, he met the dragon, learning it had been secretly helping him all along. Z woke up in the hospital, where the principal and Chen were relieved to see him awake. Later, he told Delu that he knew who was behind the attack on him. Now to this week's chapter. Meanwhile, Wang's father was in his study, quietly reading a book. The serene atmosphere was broken as his son burst into the room, panic written all over his face. Clutching his phone tightly, he rushed to his father's side, his voice trembling as he tried to explain that something bad had happened. Wang's father calmly placed his cup down, telling his son to stop panicking and questioning his frantic behavior. His son, still overwhelmed, insisted there was bad news. He held up his phone, showing a message and revealing that Zixingyu was alive and had been saved by the Academy's response team. His son continued, his voice filled with frustration, saying they had failed to get rid of Zixingyu and that he would undoubtedly seek revenge. He added that Z had the backing of a powerful guild, which made the situation even worse. Despite his son's concerns, Wang's father remained calm. He stood up and explained firmly that what happened to Zixingyu had nothing to do with them. His son, still unconvinced, pressed further. The father, maintaining his composure, clarified that Z had no proof linking them to what had happened, so there was no reason to worry. Wang's son hesitated for a moment before questioning his father on what they should do next. The father calmly walked over to a drawer, opened it, and pulled something out. Without looking back, he stated that there was nothing they could do, for now. Then, turning around, he revealed a dangerous-looking box. His expression darkened as he declared that they would keep going after Zixingyu until he was gone for good. Without hesitation, he threw the box to his son, his voice firm as he reminded him to get rid of Z at all costs. Meanwhile, back at Zixingyu's family apartment, he received a phone call from Wu. Curious about the unexpected call, he answered only for Wu to shout, in relief and excitement, exclaiming that Z was still alive and had even taken first place in the test. Wu went on, vowing to follow Zhao's lead and promising to deal with whoever had caused him trouble. Z couldn't help but think about his older sister and the little girl now staying with them. He felt a warm sense of gratitude, realizing how nice it was that people cared about him. Even Wu seemed worried, which added to his thoughts. Wu's voice snapped him back as he shouted again, reminding Z that the freshman ranking competition had been delayed. He declared that when Z won, he would proudly show him off as his friend and promised they would stay friends for life. Zixingyu was confused and questioned Wu about why the freshman ranking competition had been delayed. Wu explained that Z might not have realized it, but his disappearance had gone viral on the news. The academy had launched its emergency response team and conducted a massive search for him. Because of this, Wu added, the ranking competition had been postponed, as the academy had prioritized finding him over everything else. Wu went on to explain that the freshman ranking competition was the academy's annual grand event. Freshmen were pitted against each other, with their opponents determined by a draw. Once the top 8 were decided, the top 3 would battle it out to determine the champion. He continued, emphasizing that this competition was where freshmen made their mark. Their performance would determine future opportunities within the academy. Wu encouraged Z, pointing out that if he managed to come in first place, it would secure him a bright future. After Mu ended the call, Zixingyu hung up and stared at his phone, deep in thought. Mu's words about the freshman ranking competition echoed in his mind. Winning it would not only earn him recognition from the academy but also grant him access to valuable resources he could use to grow stronger. Z began to reflect on the limitations of his abilities. He knew that his beast skills drained his energy, and the stronger the beast, the more energy it required. Without sufficient reserves, he might be unable to use high-level skills when he needed them most. However, he realized that gaining access to the academy's resources could help him increase his energy capacity, making it easier to support his beasts in battle. His thoughts turned to Delu. While her powers were formidable, her presence drained his energy quickly. Z understood that he would need to manage his energy carefully, avoiding unnecessary depletion, and strategize wisely in battle. If he wanted to take down the Wang family, he had no choice but to rely on Delu's powers, but he also needed to ensure he didn't overextend himself before the right moment. Z lay back down on his bed, pondering how he could boost his energy levels before the ranking competition began. Closing his eyes, he decided to try asking the dragon for advice. He focused, entering the shared mental space where their minds connected. As soon as he arrived, he felt the dragon's immense energy approaching him. The dragon seemed surprised, questioning how Z had entered so quickly and wondering what had happened to the barriers it had set up for its rest. It narrowed its gaze as it observed Z standing before it. Z, unfazed, admitted that he needed help. Since he knew the dragon resided here, he decided to take advantage of its knowledge. He explained that he was stuck with a problem and needed assistance. The dragon, unconcerned, responded that as long as Z helped it recover its lost memories, it would assist him in return. Z agreed, emphasizing that their mutual help would benefit them both, and explained his need to boost his energy levels. The dragon's expression grew serious as it explained that Z needed to meditate more deeply. This would allow him to access the Sea of Consciousness, a place where their connection could grow stronger. It warned that this path was dangerous but assured Z it would guide him. To aid him further, the dragon revealed it had altered some data in Zhao's system. A window suddenly appeared in front of Z, displaying updated information. The dragon explained that it had added a shop feature to Zhao's system, allowing him to purchase items. To ensure Z remained committed to helping recover its lost memories, it would assign tasks for him to complete. Upon finishing these tasks, Z would earn points to use in the shop. Z was surprised as a list of items appeared before him. His eyes landed on something called the Dragon Spirit Pill. Intrigued, he selected it, and information about the pill appeared. It could temporarily boost the user's energy for 5 minutes but came with severe backlash, leaving the user weak afterward. The dragon warned Z to use the pill cautiously due to its side effects. It then added that Z could take this first pill for free as a gesture of goodwill, but future items would need to be earned through shop points. The dragon further explained that Z could summon the system at any time by silently chanting the title Beast Master of the Dragon Clan. Satisfied, the dragon informed Z that it needed to rest and instructed him not to return unless something urgent arose. Z thanked the dragon for its help and prepared to leave. As Z departed, the dragon reminded him not to disappoint its expectations before retreating back into sleep. The next morning arrived, and Z prepared to head to school. At the door, his sister reminded him to take it easy, while the little girl cheerfully called out for him to stay safe. Z glanced back with a reassuring nod before stepping outside. As he walked down the road, his thoughts drifted to the freshman ranking competition happening later that day. He wondered if Wu would make an appearance and how the day would unfold. His steps slowed as something caught his eye, a piece of paper fluttering slightly on the wall. Curious, he reached out and pulled the paper free. His expression hardened as he realized what it was, a wanted poster. The illustration was unmistakable. It was Delu, his nine-tailed beast. His gaze sharpened as he read the details beneath. The bounty was an astronomical 3 billion, and the crime listed accused her of stealing a golden core. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and like. It really helps me out.